Welcome back to Channel 7 News. I'm Serge Tankian, and after almost 50 years of legal tradition, the U.S. Supreme Court decided that in 2022, abortion is no longer a constitutional right. Abortion opponents have targeted abortion pills as well as related services like birth control and miscarriage care in states like Texas and Louisiana. These actions clearly demonstrate that the conservative goals have not been to protect life as they so frequently claim, but rather to control women's bodies in order to force them to have children in the manner that the Christian right is desperately trying to uphold. When the new session starts in January, the state legislator in another part of Texas plans to fight for access for prescription abortion pills. Republicans in Texas are also getting ready to submit legislation that will force internet service providers to filter out websites that sell abortion pills, in the same way they can censor explicit content. Additionally, some providers in the reproductive health care in Louisiana, where abortion is almost entirely prohibited, are delaying seeing expectant patients until the beginning of their second trimester, when a miscarriage is less likely. They are more likely to be seen earlier in the pregnancy because they don't want to be responsible for anything that will fall under the umbrella of providing abortion treatment. This may look like a new thing, but circumstances like these in America have been going on, well, since the 1920s. We're gonna go to Benedict Cumberbatch. Benedict? Thank you, Serge. The fight for women's rights have been a long time in the making. Women began organizing, petitioning, and protesting in the 1800s to obtain the right to vote, but it took them decades to succeed. Advocates for women voting rights worked non-stop between 1878 and 1920. Some states pursued a strategy of passing suffrage laws in every state. By 1912, 9 of them had done it. Male-only voting laws were contested in court by others. Supporters of the suffrage were physically attacked, arrested, and heckled by opponents. On 1920, Tennessee became the 36th state to ratify the amendment. And on August 26, 1920, the ratification was certified by the Secretary of State of Bainbridge, Colby. The fight for women's suffrage was protracted, and it was challenging and occasionally dramatic. But the ratification did not guarantee full enfranchisement, let me tell you that. African Americans and other minority women continue to fight for their promise of voting rights for decades. Due to discriminatory laws, women continue to be denied the right to vote well into the 20th century. But how would I know? I'm in the 1920s. Back to you. These two important occurrences unequivocally demonstrate the discrimination against women in America. This has had a major impact on women. Men are unfairly denying women their rights and abusing their power. In addition to being a fundamental right, gender inequality is also a requirement for a world that is stable, affluent, and sustainable. One of the most typical prevalent types of inequity is gender inequality. Women, non-binary, and trans people have been marginalized and excluded from social, political, and economic life for centuries. It has prevented women from holding leadership positions and increased gender-based violence. Women now have to fight for their rights, unlike men, which was just given to them. Both of these acts are also led by the same groups of people: women activists. This demonstrates that we can identify inequality, band together, and advocate for what is equitable, no matter the season or